What's up, Picks and Roll family? It's Sunday, September 21st, and the WNBA semifinals tip off today. Win or go home energy. And we're here to cash in on that. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button because we're dropping daily breakdowns to help you build your role. And shout out to our partners, Betr, Underdog, and Outlier for giving us the tools to find edges every single day. No recap since we didn't make any plays yesterday, but we are fresh and locked in for the semis today. With the lights brighter in the playoffs, it's not just about picking the right players. It's about maximizing promos. Underdog drops gimme picks every single week, especially on Sundays. Betr gives free squares to new users and discounted plays every day. If you only use those promos across both apps, you'd have a simple plus EV way to build your role without forcing extra entries. Keep your strategy sharp. The promos are there for a reason. Now let's get into our first play of the day, which is going to be Lexi Hall going lower than 1.5 3-pointers made. Now, if you've been following for a while, you know that I am not making these picks off of a gut reaction, gut feeling. I am using just the data. I start off always with the lines. And what these lines tell me when I see Caesars at minus 209, DraftKings at minus 195, Hard Rock at minus 200, FanDuel at minus 220, which is our favorite book to use in terms of WNBA props, that tells me that this line is highly probable. Nothing is guaranteed, but this line is highly probable. Then I look over to the right and see the Aces defense against 3-pointers, then 3-pointers made allowed, and I can see that they're ranked second for guards in the 3-pointers that they are allowed to make at 4.8. Then I can go down and see that Lexi Hall only makes or shoots about, especially in the games in the last year or so against the Aces, has only attempted 2.3 threes in those games, making just about 1. I can also see from Outlier's data that since 2024, May 25th of 2024, she has only gone above this line of 1.5 3 one time. She's gone below 83%, 5 out of the 6 games. Can also see on the year, she's gone below this line 67% of the time, cashing it 32 out of 48 games. And then her last 20 games, she's cashed this line 14 out of 20 times for a 70% rate. And each of those averaging just about 1 3-pointer made per game. This is why I feel like, especially in the first game of the playoffs, with being more nervous, it's the semifinals, lights are brighter, more pressure, and we look at these lines across multiple DFS platforms and sportsbooks, the lower on the 1.5 3-pointers made looks like a solid play for today. Now, if you're rocking with this play, smash that like button and drop your favorite semifinal pick in the comments below. And as always, all these stats and hit rates are straight from Outlier. It's my go-to tool to break down projections quickly. If you want to get sharper with your research, hit the link in the description for Outlier. They've got everything you need to level up your DFS game. For pick 2, we are going to go with Alana Smith going higher than 6.5 points. Reason why? I think this line is simply just too low. We can see in her last 20 games, she's gone above this line 14 out of 20 times for a 70% rate. On the year overall, she's gone above this line at a 67% rate, going above 30 out of 45 games. In the last 20, she had an average of 9.2 and a median of 8. And in 2025, the entire season, she had an average of 9 and a median of 9. Then, as always, we look at that line comparison, and we can see DraftKings has his favorite at minus 120, minus 130, FanDuel minus 132, BetMGM minus 135, Hard Rock Bet minus 135, and so forth. We can see that these sports books and DFS platforms all have this play favored. They also think that Alana Smith can go over and will go over this line. She is nearly close to double digits in the season overall and her last 20. We haven't looked at the head-to-head yet, but we can see here. Look at this line. She is in double-double, or she is in double digits in her head-to-head matchup against Phoenix over the last 2 seasons, with only 2 games going below this line, which makes her 80% going above the 6.5 points line that we have currently. Now, we do see on the right side that for forwards, Phoenix is ranked first in points allowed, but keep in mind their eyes are going to be on Fee. And with that, means that there's going to be opportunities for drop-offs where Fee can get a nice assist to someone like Alana Smith, or Fee puts up a shot, misses it, Alana Smith is right there for the rebound and the putback. That is why this line at 6.5 points at the moment is, I believe, extremely low, and we want to cash in on this opportunity to go higher while the line remains where it is. Now, a quick reminder, if you have not subscribed to our Winnable account for Picks and Roll, you are missing out. There are ways that you can do this and get a free month for free. One way is through Betr. They are giving new users a free $10 plus a 50% deposit match up to $200 when you use code DIME. And Underdog, same thing. Play $50 and they'll give you $50 in bonus funds. Links are down below. Now, if you sign up with either of these platforms, Betr or Underdog, and use my code, send me a screenshot of your sign up and I'll give you a free month inside my VIP Winnable. Again, sign up for Underdog, you get $50 in bonus funds. When you play $5, just use the code LOB. And then Betr, you get that free $10 plus up to a $200 bonus on your first deposit. And they're going to give you a free Patrick Mahomes free pick today, where he only needs to have 1 passing yard to win. For Betr, use code DIME. And then just email me a screenshot of your sign up using my code, and you'll get a free month in my Winnable, which is an absolute banger way to build your roll. Let's get into that last play for today, which is going to be Courtney Williams, also lower than 1.5 3-pointers made. Now, with this play, again, we're looking at that lines. Nothing is based on gut or just my own feelings. And we can see that all of these major sports books and DFS platforms are heavily favoring this play. Right? We can see that here, especially with FanDuel at minus 245. Why is that? Well, one, we can see that this line has been moving around a lot, and we want to be cautious of that and make sure that we're taking advantage of it while it's here at 1.5 and taking the lower. Now, if it does drop back down to that 0.5, I would definitely switch that and go for higher if you get to that opportunity. But at 1.5, I really like going lower. One of the cool things about Outliers, they also give you that data about matchups and playing time. And we can see that Dejanay Carrington is out, which they warn you could impact playing time. I am not concerned about that because Hyman also gets a lot of playing time, and that'll probably be where some of Carrington's minutes go. Obviously, Courtney will get a little bump in her minutes as long as she can stay out of foul trouble. She is pretty aggressive on the defensive end, and that can sometimes cause her to get on the bench a little early. Or she's just a little bit too aggressive and reckless and causing a lot of turnovers or creating a lot of turnovers. And that's where she'll also kind of go to the bench. So let's look at why this line at 1.5 3-pointers going lower is a solid play. If we look at the last 20, we can see that she's gone below this line 15 out of 20 games for 75% rate. She's had some hot games where she's hit 2 or 3, but her average in the last 20 and median are both 1. Then we look at the season where she's gone below this line 28 out of 47 games for a 60% rate. Again, averaging in a median of around 1. And then head-to-head matchups with Phoenix. She's cashed this line 80% of the time. Going below this line 8 out of 10 games. Again, average and median just around 1. Where in her most recent matchup, she did hit two threes, but otherwise it's been 1 or none for the most part, especially for this season. We can also see that she usually attempts about similar to Lexi Hall, about 2 3-pointers per game, and usually makes about 1 of those. So in the insights is why I also mentioned if the line goes back down to 0.5, why I like the over, because she has exceeded 0.5 3-pointers in 5 of her last 6. But we see that average here is 1.7 in that same time span, which still around that 1.5, which is why I liked the lower for our line. Additionally, we can see that Phoenix's defense against the guards and 3 points made allowed are ranked 7th, which is neutral, which is something to keep our eyes on. But also keep in mind that Minnesota has one of the best three-point makers in the league, Kayla McBride. Courtney Williams is a great facilitator and a great mid-range shooter, and I can see her getting into the rack, dishing it out for someone like Kayla McBride to hit a majority of those threes that the Phoenix allow to guards. All right, let's recap today's plays. We have Lexi Hall going lower than 1.5 3-pointers made, Alana Smith higher than 6.5 points, and Courtney Williams lower than 1.5 threes. Let me know which picks you're tailing. Smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's breakdown. Use the links in the description to lock in those Betr and Underdog promos. And don't forget, send me your sign-up screenshot for a free month in VIP. And as always, let's build that roll.